with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show Assessor Bean and Assessor Dwyer are absent. Acceptance of the board meeting minutes on
Shirley, can you read?
December 21st, 2023.
Okay.
Looking for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Second, we have a motion and a second to approve the assessor's meeting minutes of December 21st, 2023. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. Letter D, new business, meeting with town assessing agent Ms. Shirley Ballard to review adjustments, abatements, and supplementals. Letter A, abatement on account 1650, foreclosed property at 32 Hayden Street, former owner Roland Allen III. Buildings removed in January of 22, but value never reduced. Shirley, do you have anything for us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So we're ready to go over the abatement?
Yes, we're ready for account 1650.
Yes. That was one that builders were removed, and they were removed in January of 22, so we need to abate 2 years.
So what's the value of the abatement?
The total for the 2 years, $645.40.
Okay.
$645.40.
Okay. So the buildings were removed and it was just, this was never removed from the tax roll, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
What's the location?
32 Hayden Street. Yeah.
It's one of the foreclosed properties.
Right. All right, looking for a motion to abate $645.40. And I believe it's to Roland Allen III, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to abate the 645.
All right.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to abate $645.40 to Roland Allen III, on account 1650. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. All right, our second abatement is account 2356, which was closed in 2003, but somehow opened again in 2023.
Yes, if you remember, we have some of these every year when we commit the taxes. They become undeleted, they're old accounts, and so this isn't something unusual that happens.
Okay.
And it's a mobile home.
All right, and what's the total abatement?
$53.44.
And who is it to?
Llewellyn Richardson.
All right. Looking for a motion to award an abatement of $53.44 to Llewellyn Richardson on account 2356.
I'll make a motion to abate 5344 to Llewellyn Richardson.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to abate to account 2356 to Llewellyn Richardson, $53.44. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. All right, number 2, request to use Kristen to assist with site inspections for reevaluation.
Yes,
Shirley?
Kristen came to me and said she'd like to do site inspections, and she has done them before in Sanford. She worked in the assessing department there. So I didn't know what your thought was on where we go with the revaluation.
We've talked about that many times, and we were talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, but putting together certain portions of the town, one section, a second section, and a third section. Is that what you're still thinking?
Yes, that's correct. And it's just gone on for a while, so I wanted to check with you. We probably got, I don't know, maybe a third of the town done.
Okay. All right, so I don't have a problem with her working with for site inspections. I mean, anybody else? Yeah. Yes.
Where's the money coming from?
Where would that money be coming from, Shirley?
Pardon?
Where would the money to pay her come from?
I didn't, could you say
Where-
that again?
Where would the money come from to pay her? Would that be part of the revaluation fund?
It would be, yes.
Alright. Alright, we don't need a motion. I'd simply say go ahead and do it. If it's gonna push that along a little bit, let's do it.
Okay, good. And if I can find someone else interested in doing them, I'll put them on too.
Okay.
But she had asked quite a while ago,
Okay.
so I will get her started right away then.
Alright. Okay, any other concerns from the board? Mr. Moody?
No, sir.
Ms. Estes? I have none. Looking for a motion to adjourn. Hold on, wait, any other, sorry about that, Mrs. Estes.
Too bad I made the motion.
Yeah, no kidding. Shirley, do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Okay, and as our select board meeting notes, we plan on meeting in July 22nd for the tax rate.
Yes,
And we do have the 12th of August, that's kind of a backup, but that would be the last day probably.
okay. Well, we'll hope we get it done on July 22nd.
Okay, that sounds great. All right,
Okay.
looking for a motion to adjourn, Mrs. Estes.
I'm looking for, I'm gonna make it a motion to adjourn. How's that?
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:24.
There you go. I mean, like I tell her, I even double check and call Sandra because she's leaving. 6:30, No. Yeah. But I didn't know nothing.
That's how I got this one back.
Yeah.
I realized I saw it.
Oh, Ryan's,
Oh, Jack's.
Jack's, yeah.
Yeah.
Sal, you give me bum scoop. You give me bum.
Mr. Chairman?
Okay, yes. Mrs. Town Manager.
No, you go ahead.
Before we start the selectmen's meeting, the town manager would like to read the dedication of the town report. I believe we have some people, I believe we have some
Yeah, there's
people outside.
I think the whole bunch.
Whole bunch. Wanna bring
Select
them all?
board, the assessors board meeting, you seconded, Mr. Moody?
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, if anybody ever needs to read my short.
You wanna do one at a time?
Yep, we can.
Billy, you wanna come up? I believe you're first. Bill?
What?
Come up. Now you can come too if you want.
What are we talking about here? Surprise party, huh?
Yeah. You have some guests in the back.
So, this year's dedication, if you'll face the camera, Jackson will.
Waiting for Dax. Snuck in on you, Bill.
Yeah.
Okay? Bill Pierce, fondly known as Uncle Billy, is married to Mattie Pierce and father of 3 children, Eric, Christine, and Roy. He worked for the town of Madison for 22 years before retiring in August of 2023. Prior to working for the town of Madison, Bill was employed for 25 years by Scott Paper, Sappy, as a mechanic in what was known as the Bingham Garage. When a position opened in the Madison Highway Department, he was the perfect candidate for the job, already having mechanical experience and a CDL license. After the first year of Bill's employment with Madison, the road commissioner at the time told him that his expertise as a mechanic and craftsman had saved the town over $125,000. Before Bill came on board, everything that needed repair had to be sent out, not fixed in-house. Over the years, the savings only increased as his experience increased. Bill is a pretty laid-back, happy-go-lucky person that enjoys putting a smile on other people's faces.
They don't agree
So
over
we
here.
kind of tricked him into coming here. He is not one to create, nor to try to get in the middle of any drama. Keeping the peace is what makes him happy, which is why he came, without any force. You will find him lending a helping hand or giving advice, both at work and in his private life. He has always been a very dedicated, proud, and loyal employee. In his spare time, Bill enjoys reading, movies, and tinkering around in his garage. Not to mention the fact that he has been an amazing tutor to his daughter, who seems to take after her father when it comes to doing her own mechanical work, as well as any type of repairs that need to be done. He's pretty proud of that, and she is pretty proud of him. We dedicate this year's report to Bill Pierce. Say something.
Thanks for coming, guys. Al, we need that excavator.
Yeah.
I think the camera picked that up.
From that angle, it looks like a kissing.
Thank you very much.
I did, to be honest.
Our second honoree is Peter Payne. You had to know this was coming. An honorary copy of the town report dedicated to you. Peter has been married to his high school classmate Nancy for 48 years and has 2 children, Peter and Denise. He retired from the Madison Highway Department in October 23 after 35 3/4 years, but continues to help when needed. Peter started his working career in high school, working for Walter's Dairy Farm. His other positions included making fiberglass boats for Corson Boat Company in Madison, driving a truck for Bridge Construction Company in Augusta, and hauling milk for Gifford's Dairy in Skowhegan to make their famous ice cream. He started working for Madison Highway Department in January 1988 with positions of truck driver, heavy equipment operator, and foreman. You were foreman at the time you retired, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. His hobbies include camping with family, watching NASCAR racing on TV from his recliner, traveling throughout the United States by motor vehicle, traveling throughout the world by cruise ship, and his retirement activities include odd jobs using his beloved John Deere tractor, and occasionally having dinner dates with his wife. Peter, thank you very much for your service to the town of Madison. Hey, we got them both this time. We got them both as a surprise. Thank you, guys.
We're ready to go?
We're just gonna find my chair.
Well, I'd like to thank the town manager for giving out those 2 awards, and well-deserved, gentlemen. I'd like to call this meeting of the Madison Select Board to order on Tuesday, May 28, 2024, at 6:31 p.m. Please join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show selecting meeting is absent. All others are present. Consent agenda number 1, AP warrant number 38, 5/13/24. Number 3, payroll register number 3, 1/18/24. Number 15, 4/11/24. Number 16, 4/18/24. Number 17, 4/25/24, number 18, 5/2/24, number 19, 5/9/24, number 20, 5/16/24, and number 21, 5/23/24. We go.
I make a motion to approve the AP warrants and payroll registers as written.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the Yes.
Do we have current minutes? Are these old minutes?
I don't believe so. Are they,
It says May 13th on them.
Right?
That was
That's the
last
minutes
The
that have
minutes of
been
the
approved
meeting.
for the last meeting.
you mean an agenda? Do you mean an agenda?
Agenda, yeah.
Yeah, there might be some over there. If not, we can get you one somewhere here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the warrant and payroll register as read. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. All right, acceptance of the meeting minutes of the select board meeting on May 13th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for May 13th, 2024. Second.
Second, a motion and a second, and I believe Mr. Moody, you're out of that one. Is that correct?
13th?
Yes.
No, I think he was
No,
there.
no,
It was
I'm
just
sorry.
John, it was just John that wasn't.
I apologize. All those in favor? We have a motion and a second, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. We'll skip the next one. Mr. Bean is not here. All right, old business. Letter E, number 1, draft moratorium for controlled substance facilities. And I believe we have some of them out there.
Yeah. There have been, I did put some out there.
All right, so we have this paperwork. John, did you get one?
I didn't, I was gonna get one.
Go get one. So, what we have here, and what we're gonna ask the board to do tonight is to bring this on to town meeting as article number 39. Alright, and that's the only thing that will happen, I believe it's 39, let me make sure I got my
Yes.
numbers correct. It'll be article 39, and again, that will be by secret ballot. So, once we get to that point, we'll vote on that. So this outlines a controlled substance and a controlled substance facility. If you don't have one of these, you can pick one up in the back to look it over. Okay, so what this does for us, it gives us, and it says it on the last paragraph here, it gives us until December 7th, 2024, unless we extend the majority of the select board before that date. It gives us a 6-month period to put rules in place that we think are necessary. We would send it back to the planning board, and with the code enforcement and the planning board, they would come up with rules for this type of establishment. Okay? Anybody have any questions?
Yeah. Well,
Yes, sir.
Everything I've heard leading up to this point has said that any actions taken by the town in order to prevent and or delay the opening of said clinic would open us up to some legal liabilities. And I'm wondering if anybody has considered that, or what the ramifications are for us.
Just everything we do brings us to legal ramifications. So anything we do, and a lot of things that we do. So I mean, we do not, and I've said this before, we do not have a plan from Acadia Health. There's not anything in front of the planning board at this point. So we do not have anything in writing about what exactly will go into a facility anywhere in town.
They're waiting for a occupancy permit right now from the town.
No, they're not.
Not anymore?
They have not applied for an occupancy permit.
Okay.
Alright, so we have nothing from them, so we feel, after further review, we feel that this is the course of action that the petitioners that gave us the petition, plus people in the room speaking the night we had the Acadia Health person here.
Okay.
Okay? And again, and a lot of things we do open us up to litigation. And
Like, this is like federal litigation. That's why I'm concerned.
Yep.
This isn't just the state, this is federal that
Yep.
would be messing with, so I have great concerns about the liabilities that I as a taxpayer would take on if this is passed and Acadia comes back and says, this is retaliatory.
Mhm. I don't, I'll let the town manager speak, but I don't think in the town manager speaking with them that they have that in their plan. But she can speak to that, I don't have that information.
Thank you. I have been in touch with Acadia, and they are willing to look at alternate locations. They're actually coming to town on Friday to look at a couple alternate locations.
Awesome.
When the moratorium issue first arose, it was my understanding at the time that we could not proceed with a moratorium because it would be exactly retaliatory. However, in reviewing and researching and contacting our attorney and contacting Maine Municipal Association, their guidelines for moratoriums expressly stated if there are no pending permits or pending action in front of the town can consider it. Now, I know one gentleman said he'd offer some of his personal money for a legal defense fund. I think that there will be a legal challenge. I believe that there will be, in my heart. But not because we are singling them out, but because we are interfering in a private real estate transaction.
Correct.
And the seller is going to come after the town for the loss of revenue of not being able to sell his building. That's the particular legal concern that I have. The attorney, the town attorney who is part of this process, believe me, I didn't do any of this on my own, trust me. I want to be a lawyer when I grow up, but I'm not there yet. The town attorney said he would not be surprised to see a challenge to this moratorium, okay? And that it could go either way. But the legal ramification is definitely there, but it's two-faced. The moratorium itself from Acadia, and then the interference with the private real estate transaction from the seller.
So there are two liabilities that we're looking
There are
at.
two distinct liabilities.
That's what I was concerned about, yep.
So, if that would pose a question to where, how is it and why was the town even notified of the sale if it was supposed to be a private sale, right? So, if we were supposed to stay out of it as a town, there was obviously a ball that was rolling in the direction to where Acadia made it privy to somebody. Because if we didn't know what they were doing there, we wouldn't be in this position. And we could have started this position before any of it took place, even if they were under contract. We didn't know who was buying it. If it was a private sale, we wouldn't know who was buying it, right? So if we got a whisper of it, there obviously was people that was communicating with them to where we're now in this position with the knowledge of what they have or what they're choosing to do, to where we will potentially have legal ramifications, which they would not have a leg to stand on it because we're getting this in effect to where we, right now. And in the sense of Larry, he should know, nobody should have known about the sale. I sold many houses. And you guys didn't know about any of the sales that I've done in Madison until I pulled permits. So right now, we should be sitting in a position, we don't even know what they're doing. They're just buying the building.
Right, that's the only thing that we do know is who's buying it.
Sure.
For whatever reason, I don't know why. But
Sure.
we know that. We do not, I've said this right since we started, we do not know what's going in there.
Right.
Other than what the lady told us, and we pretty much made it public that night, but there's nothing in writing.
Right,
And there's
agreed.
nobody's asked for any permits of any sort
Right.
to the planning board. They're as clueless in this as we are.
So if we're gonna split hairs, it's gonna be really easy to split hairs. And I'll obviously back what I said, and hopefully other people do. But if we're gonna split hairs, they don't have a leg to stand on, nobody does. Larry wouldn't even have a leg to stand on, nobody would have a leg to
Just
stand
assume
on.
landowner, if you could.
I'm sorry?
Just landowner, if you could.
The seller.
Okay.
Seller, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so do we have any other questions?
May I respond just really quickly? The initial question came into the town office in October of 2023, asking for zoning laws. We don't have zoning laws. And at that time, they just said, you know, what do we need to do? What laws do we need to abide by? So, that's how it was initially brought to the attention. There was a real estate company that was looking at the property. And they identified the property that they were looking at. So that's how it came to be.
All right, so now, we're looking for a motion to send this moratorium to town meeting as article number 39. And at town meeting, we'll vote yes or no. And the town will vote yes.
Do you want to include the red language?
Do we need it?
If we don't, I'm sorry I didn't have red language on all of them. It says, do we need to expressly exclude medical marijuana cannabis here, as that will be taken up in a separate warrant article. So under the controlled substance facility,
We'll just say exclude medical marijuana.
controlled
cannabis.
substances excluding medical marijuana cannabis.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that.
I-
Because we have other rules with that. There's other rules with the, and that's what's gonna be addressed, I think, in Article 37, 38.
Right, that's.
38.
Right, we already have something
We already have
specific
those,
to that.
right, we already have specific language to that.
All right, so I'm gonna modify this to say excluding, okay.
Medical marijuana cannabis.
Yep.
Businesses.
Thank you, Denise.
All right, so looking for a motion and a second from the board.
I'll make a motion to take this moratorium ordinance to the town meeting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to take the moratorium ordinance regarding controlled substance facilities located within safe zones. All right. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. We'll go at number 39. All right, number 2, temporary speed bumps for designated areas of concern. All right, we have those in front of us. Where are we talking now? We're talking Spruce? No, not Spruce.
Ash Street,
Ash
Spruce Street, or is it Myrtle Street?
Myrtle.
Myrtle Street.
Myrtle.
Excuse me.
So those are things that are going to be able to be removed to other places
They're temporary,
if
yes.
necessary?
Yep,
Go Weston Avenue to slow me down?
yes,
Good, all right.
yes. By the way, the sheriff's gonna be operating out of Madison every other week.
All right, I'll be going slow. Jeff, can you help me? Jeff, can you help me? When you were road commissioner, we removed stop signs going this way, correct? On Myrtle? Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, we removed this, removed the stop signs, what's the street that street that George lives on? Ash Street. Because it was a four-way, it was put up years ago to slow traffic down, stop traffic, which you can't do by state of Maine rules. So they were removed, so, because Myrtle is a through street.
Myrtle's a through street.
Right, correct.
And right now, the speed trailer is on Myrtle Street as you're looking east. It's on the right-hand side, but it's facing east. So it's coming, if you come up First Street and turn around the corner to Myrtle Street, you'll see it on the left.
On the left, okay.
And they're gonna move it onto Ash Street sometime this week.
Okay. All right. So what are our thoughts? Anybody, Tommy, do you have anything you want to say on these? I mean,
I brought it up as a suggestion. The road commissioner said it would be labor intensive. I don't know how labor intensive it would be. Jeff, maybe you can help out with that, but if they're temporary, you have to drill holes and be able to land them and secure them to the ground. But then they're removable, so.
Yeah, there's no doubt they would takes some time to put in, and, you know, how much time do you wanna spend moving these things around, just, you know, street to street all the time, I mean, it's.
I wouldn't move them around, I would plant them.
And then, of course, you gotta take them up in the winter time, because you don't want them
Exactly.
plowing over them, and
Right.
I guess I would disagree with them, because that was brought up years ago, and we disagreed to put those up, only because, you know, they're a traffic hazard, just like the signs on the Main Street that got put up, you know, those are highly illegal, you're setting yourself up for a lawsuit, because you're putting an object in the road. You can't put objects in the road, such as speed bumps and those signs.
Where does it say you can't put speed bumps in the road? I don't know.
There are obstacles in the road. I mean, as a town, you can do what you want, but if somebody gets in an accident or gets in a wreck or gets hurt from them,
So somebody come down Myrtle Street, which is how they come down Myrtle Street, quite fast. They hit one of those things and they went into somebody's house or somebody's
Exactly.
car. I mean, that might be a problem.
Somebody
That's
that's
the same
walking.
way with pedestrian signs on Main Street. Somebody hits that and hits another car, the town's liable.
Yeah.
We learned that in school.
Right in the middle, those ones right in the middle you're
Yeah.
talking about,
We
yeah.
learned that in our classes
Yeah.
that we took.
I don't know who put those out, do we? Do we know who put those out?
I don't know what signs you're talking about.
And they're Rennie's, is down by the mill. And-
Oh, are they like right in the middle of the road?
Yeah.
Oh, I was not aware of those.
Yeah.
That must
Can
have
we
been the
find out who
highway.
did that?
That's why we stopped using them.
It was put in like 2 days ago.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I wondering who did that, was it the state or?
I was.
well, the town did it, because I saw the boys putting them out.
Okay.
And,
We need to check
like
on
Pete
that.
said, we learned that a long time ago.
It's the same way with the stop signs over here. Them stop signs were put in the four-way intersections when they put the ball fields in. But they're not using the parking lot down on Ash Street
Right.
anymore, or they, I don't know if they ever did. And that was the reason why the four-way stops were put in, because people were trying to get back and forth to the ballparks and didn't want to stop.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, up in the back, I had your hand up before. Yes. Yeah.
Just to let everybody know, I spoke with a sheriff, and she was down there 2 days setting. And the people that were doing the speeding obviously saw her and went to speed limit. They do have that sign down there, but it's not in the right place, because the speeders don't come up around that corner.
Right.
They come the street on this side of the sign. So the sign's not doing any good there whatsoever.
Can we
How are
get
you
that?
gonna do anything about?
They are moving, I already notified them and they are gonna move
They're
it.
gonna move that?
How are you gonna deal with human nature is beyond me.
Right.
It might get to the point where one of the kids down there get hit, God forbid, or somebody's backing out of their driveway and they get hit. I don't know, there's probably 3 people that do this every single day. 2 of them live in the neighborhood. They live in the same house. So, I don't know. What about the dips? Instead of the bumps, you make a dip. Slows them down.
Well, in the city of Augusta, they actually have
Ramps.
road bumps.
Yes, they do.
That are not temporary, they're permanent, they're built in,
Yeah.
and they're pretty effective.
They're very effective. Your big cities have them, but then again, we gotta consider the cost. We're a small town, I understand that. So I agree with this gentleman, those things that you put in there and take out, they're not gonna work.
Okay.
They're not gonna work.
So can we take a look at these dips? I hate to call anything a dip, but, Jeff?
I believe that gentleman.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
I just, as a pedestrian, I walk everywhere. I can tell you the number one concern I have, besides, like, the speeding cars is one thing, but the fact that our crosswalks are not visible to the naked eye and that they're not highlighted. Old Point Ave is especially difficult to cross, if you're not at the light, and Main Street. I mean, it's literally, you gotta try and dash across, like the one at Wicked Lettuce to Campbell's is entirely gone, you can't even see it.
I believe that will be taken care of shortly.
Yeah, and that's the
They'll-
state road too, both of those are state
They'll
roads.
both gonna paint that, I believe, right off the bat.
DOT should.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Well, we paint them in these.
We do?
Yeah,
We do, yeah.
Okay,
we do.
thank you.
Usually it's done after sweeping.
What's that?
It's done after sweeping.
Okay, and sweeping is supposed to start this week or next week?
Yeah, and I'd get on Mike about when,
Okay,
who's gonna paint. He has got somebody to paint them, because he is correct. They need to be, they are
Okay.
done every summer. Jeff?
So just keep in mind, whatever you put in the road, whether they're bumps or divots, you've got to plow those all winter long. And these streets get plowed many a times through the course of the winter, not just once or twice. And they're very difficult to navigate around, and not only if you put a divot in the road, that's gonna be full of snow until it melts or freezes, one of the two. So that's something you want to consider. You know, and I've been through this hundreds of times, working up the highway, and Pete can vouch for that also, that if you can put all the signs down there you want, all the speed bumps, and whatever you want to put down there, you're not gonna solve the problem. Yeah, you're exactly right, sir.
Everybody thinks signs fix everything, but they don't.
I would say, thank you, Pete. I would say, get those, you fell apart here. Get those license plates to the sheriff, I would say. That would be
Yeah, I'll talk to her again.
Yeah.
She can't be, I don't know what the law is, but you gotta be you gotta be in a position where you can, these people can't see you.
I'll volunteer my driveway. Honestly, I live right on Old Point Ave, and it shakes my house in the middle of the night when the trucks go by.
Yeah.
I would love to see, I would love to see more sneak attacks from the sheriff, because pulling into our driveway, we take the risk of getting rear-ended every time we slow down.
Dax?
My only problem with the speed bumps is it's really more of a damper for the people who are good, responsible drivers. I've noticed most people who are speed driving at night are people who will fix their cars, take care of their cars when it breaks, and they're very reckless with their cars. Speed bumps usually tend not to bother them, especially if it causes damage, but for good, responsible drivers, they get in the way.
All
So,
right, thank you. Any other comments? So we'll look at the dips, and we'll talk to the
Table.
sheriff about being in that area more, and, Mr. Moody.
I think we're wasting our time and we're wasting our money as far as dips and speed bumps and what have you. I don't think there is enough of a volume of traffic on any street to justify it. You're talking about one or two people in a street area that might be the culprits that's causing the discontent. The majority of the people aren't going to be happy when you start putting speed bumps up. And if you start putting them up on this side of town, then you're gonna end up putting them up on that side of town and the north end of town, and it's just, I think we just gotta maintain contacting the sheriff's department and advising them of the complaints that we're getting and have them address it. You know, I don't wanna throw good money over bad, and I don't wanna see a plow truck go down there because they forgot to take a speed bump up and knock the heck out of a plow. That's just my opinion, I'm not for it at all, none of it.
All right.
Okay, I'd like to just add a little bit. I pretty much agree, and then you've got people over on 9th Street where that's huge. So, you know, if you're gonna have to do something, I agree with Ron. You're gonna start here, and then it's just gonna keep going. Pine Street's a huge complaint area. And that is a town road.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move on. All right, number 3, research on sales tax acquired property since 2018.
It's not yet completed, so I should have it done by the end of this week.
Okay.
So I have nothing to report on that yet.
All right, let's move on then. Site review ordinance on signs for town meeting?
The question that I had on that is that supposed to go on the June 10th meeting or for the next?
The next one.
Okay, next, thank you.
Yep.
That's a no.
All right, we'll go on next.
Thank you.
Number 5, foreclosed property has been redeemed, 11 Mountain View Road.
You have a
2 others.
question?
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
what got moved to the next meeting?
The site review ordinance on signs,
Okay.
we're gonna take that to the next town meeting, not the town meeting in June, but the next year probably, or if we have a special one. We're not ready for that yet. Okay, so I'm not, number 5, is that anything we're dealing with?
Yes.
Okay, 1 foreclosed property has been redeemed, 11 Mountain View Road, 2 others are still pending town manager's attempt to contact. Okay.
So, we had, the family of the owner of 11 Mountain View Road came in after it was foreclosed upon,
Okay.
and they paid the taxes up to date, including all liens and fines and interest. And so we have a quitclaim deed that we need to have signed.
All right, so we're looking for a motion and a second to award a quitclaim deed to 11 Mountain View Road.
We had an incorrect
Everything's
Address.
paid up? Yes.
Is there a name goes with that?
Is there a name?
Wayne Carroll, the estate of Wayne Carroll.
State of
I
Wayne Carroll.
think that needs to be included there.
Yep, State of Wayne Carroll. Okay, looking for a motion to accept it.
I'll make a motion to accept to do a foreclosure, to accept a quitclaim deed for the foreclosed property at 11 Mountain View Road for Wayne
Carroll.
Carroll. I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to award a quitclaim deed to Wayne Carroll at 11 Mountain, to the estate of Wayne Carroll at 11 Mountain View Road. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. The 2 others are still pending, correct?
Correct.
We have nothing to do there.
Great.
All right, number 1, on items of communication, living well report, we have that. And then the town manager's budget and expenses, looks like week 47, we're at 90%.
Yep,
We have
and
that.
we are actually, expense-wise, we're actually expended at 83%, so we're a little below, but, you know, there's always a big push on the last month, so.
Can we go back to this quitclaim?
Yep.
deed For a second? Well, it says it's released to Beth Carroll. We just said Wayne Carroll.
The estate of, she's the executor, does it need to be changed? Okay, can you write the edits on it and I will have Cheyenne fix it,
Okay.
and then you guys will just have to come in and sign it. Thank you, Kathy. Before we move on to after the town manager's report, I did have a couple more items of communication that came in. May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so, the fire chief wanted to let you folks know that they are putting in a cement pad, an 18 by 20 foot cement pad on the East Madison Fire Station to house, they're gonna build a structure to house their new side-by-side. All right, and then there was, a guy from Pike Industries who is looking for a place for, Maine DOT to put a work trailer so that they can have an office space basically. And what they're looking at is the spot on the map that says town. This is the spot, this is the same map that we used with the American Legion, that we were gonna take that piece of property, put it on there. Okay, well, they would like to use that piece of property from June to November as to put their work trailer on. There's already a utility pole there that they can hook up to. And this is so that Maine DOT has a local office while they're doing 201A from Madison to Norridgewock, and whatever part of it is that goes from, is it still 201A, that goes across the bridge and up to North Anson?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So they're asking for the permission to use that lot.
I think anything we can do to enhance and to improve that road, I'm all for it.
Just make sure they know that that's not permanent, because that's what we're talking with.
No, they just said months.
It's like June to November.
To November.
They'll clean it all up, everything will be back to the way it is here.
Yep.
Or better.
From June to November?
Yep.
Okay, but don't we have something going on with the American Legion right now?
That's not gonna happen
That's
for,
not happening.
within the next 3 to 5 years, that's gonna
We
take,
just told them that we would be willing.
it's on the
To do it,
town
but we're
warrant
not.
to ask.
Right.
Okay, as long as the townspeople, but we're not doing anything with them. Jeff hasn't.
Yeah, what those trailers are, they're just job trailers, so, and they pull them around behind their pickup or a small truck. So they have a space to do their engineering, and those guys can meet in the morning and in the afternoon, so I'm sure it's probably not a very big one,
Well-
probably 20 feet maybe.
I mean, he said it, and I might have heard him wrong, I thought he said 8 by 40.
Yeah, could be.
Does
Yeah.
that sound reasonable?
Yeah, they'll put a couple guys in there to review the plans and things like that.
I don't think there's any utilities, I mean, any facilities in there.
No, I wouldn't believe there was, no. They'll probably put a portable.
All right, no
toilet
vote?
outside.
Thank you.
All right, new business, number 1, recommended ordinance amendments, chapter 148, animals, and 514, animal control.
The animal control officer and I were looking over our ordinance on animals, and she had a concern that, the section that says "at heel" or "under the control of a person and obedient to that person's command" leaves the door open to liability, because if that animal suddenly is no longer obedient and they attack somebody, then, what's gonna happen there? So, it's supposed to be a well-heeled dog that stays and answers to the master. But in the event that it doesn't, what is the liability, what is the cost to the town possibly? So, she's looking at removing the language that says "at heel" or "under the control," to leave it just as "if it is controlled by a leash, cord, chain, or on or within a vehicle being driven or parked on the streets."
I agree with that.
There's nothing under the state law that dictates for the two, and that's why our law says that, by voice command.
I don't know about state law.
This is state
I mean,
leash
I think-
law.
Right, but I think, I don't know, but I think there's something by voice command
I don't,
too, but I don't
I wasn't
know
able
that for
to,
sure.
I didn't find anything on that.
Oh, okay, I don't know that for sure.
And then the second part is when they're making a complaint, just to change the reference from Madison Police Department to Somerset County Sheriff's Office.
So these aren't for the next time, it's gonna be the one after that, correct?
These are amendments, I think they have already been passed by the town meeting, I think the amendments can be done by select board.
No, those have to go back to town meeting.
So I think they have to go back to town.
Okay, so they will go
But
back to the
I
town
don't
meeting.
know that
Yeah,
for sure,
no,
but
no,
I
it
Okay,
have to do
so
it.
Yeah,
for next time, all right, I was under the impression that, okay,
I don't believe so. I could be wrong, but I don't believe so.
okay,
I think ordinances have to be approved at town meeting.
amendments also,
Yeah,
All right.
because it's still,
Okay.
because it's a
Yeah.
town ordinance.
okay,
Okay, we'll get those for the next one.
so that's 2025. All right,
So that's something that should be, advisory board also should listen to those, when we do that.
all right.
All right, number 2, appointment of town clerk for June 1, 2024 to May 31, 2025.
Okay. That's, the town clerk is one that I approved, correct?
Yes.
All right, so I guess you can skip that.
Okay, all right. All right, town manager's recap on technology conference and cybersecurity presentations.
Okay, so I went to the main technology conference last week, and it was really very interesting. I'm a geek at heart. So, one of the things that really struck me was cybersecurity. It goes so deep. On your phone, anybody that's got a smartphone is susceptible. Anybody that's got a laptop, a tablet, if you're charging your devices in an airport and you plug into a USB station at the airport, there can be malware in that plug. This is how sophisticated these guys are getting. That will hijack your device. So what I would like to propose is that we have, at the town office at least, a monthly or quarterly cybersecurity meeting and training with Maine Technology Group. They're our vendor, and we can bring them in on a monthly or quarterly basis, just to kind of emphasize the importance of everybody. You know, when you get an attachment from somebody that you don't know in email, don't open the attachment. Some of it is real common sense stuff, but there are people that are not as well versed in using electronic devices, and so they don't know. Well, I got this, you know, I got a call from my granddaughter, and she said she's in jail and she needs money. Well, there's so much to do with artificial intelligence that can replicate voices even, and intonations and everything else. So we really need to be prepared on the front line to face all those things. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that. The second piece is the ability to vote electronically at town meetings, so that every vote would be a secret ballot, and it would be a matter of, I don't know if you guys watched American Idol or The Masked Singer or anything. Everybody's got their thing and they just push the button. This is the size of the device that would be handed out to people. This is just an example of rubber thing. And it would require software and somebody running the software. And the moderator would, you know, have the question, and then instead of raising hands or raising cards or standing and sitting or having a secret ballot where you have people come up in line and vote by secret ballot, then you would have push the button, and within 30 seconds you've got your response. So you know that it passed, it didn't pass. If you needed to have a 2/3 majority to pass something, you would be able to do that by setting a control on that particular item that you need the 2/3 on. So the good thing about this is it runs on its own radio frequency. It's not something that's going to be hacked. And you would only use it runs on one of those little flat round batteries. You would only use it at town meetings. And we could share it with other surrounding communities. So if we don't have the same town meeting date as Norwich Walk or Solon or Anson, we could share the cost and the accessibility with those surrounding communities. So I'd very much like to pursue this option.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and it probably is something that we could probably use, but I'd like to hear more about what the financial cost of this is going to be, and how long-term all of this material is good for, and if there's any updating costs and maintenance, and what the security, what do you have to do to keep this stuff secured? I'd like to have some more information to these before we go any further.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's why.
Is there anybody else in Maine using it?
Yes. He told us there's, I think it's Casco and Naples right now. Casco and Naples are using it right now. And the other thing is that however many devices you get, you store them in these styrofoam containers that hold 50 to a container. And, yeah, you can lock them up and secure them that way. But before I got into any financial questions with him, I wanted to see if there was interest from the board to even pursue it. But the way he said it was, if you have less than 300 devices, it would be under $10,000. And I don't know, that's as vague as he got.
I think we need to be open-minded about it, and I think now that you've mentioned that there's 2 towns that have experience with this, I mean, they're starting to build the wheel, so we don't have to completely
Right.
reinvent it.
Yep.
And that will probably give us a good guideline of how it's working out for those people.
Okay. I'll follow up with those towns.
I'm good with a blue card, but we can check it out.
We gotta come into the 21st century sometime.
We at
Mr.
least got to a card.
Chairman.
But- Okay, all right, number 4, employee request to donate earned PTO or sick time to another employee.
Yes, and there's nothing in our town policy that talks about this, and there's nothing in the highway contract that talks about this. It's silent, either for or against. So, because there was nothing, I denied the request, and until we have a policy in place, I'm not going to approve that gifting of time to somebody else. So the finance director, human resources person, and I are gonna work to develop a policy to bring to your attention, but I wanted to make sure that you were aware that this has come up. I know when I worked for the state of Maine, there were times when people had emergency banks. Somebody used up all their sick time, they were on a critical illness appointment or out of work. It was before family medical leave, and so we could donate our vacation time to their sick bank. However, I don't think we should be donating sick time to sick time or, anyway, I want to do more research, I want to get.
Doesn't that get that time off the books?
It does, but when we did it with the state, you were allowed to donate your vacation time to somebody's sick bank, but you weren't allowed to donate your sick time. Because when you terminated with the state, you did not receive payment for your sick time. You received payment for your vacation time. So it was in the state's best interest if you got rid of your vacation time, because then they didn't have to pay you.
Right, and if you get time off, you do.
Jeff, you have a question? Doesn't the school have that? I remember when I sat on the school board, there was quite a bit of discussion about that years ago.
You have a sick bank where you donate, where a person can donate a day or 2 to that, and they keep, whoever uses it, they donate a day back. We donate another day, they'll call us once in a while, we haven't donated a day in a long time, but.
Right, so, but don't you have to be in a pool? You just can't hand it over, like, I just can't give you 10 hours?
Yeah, you donate a day to the pool, and if somebody, there's a committee that you go in front of, or you send your request into the committee, and they decide. I think you can only get a third of what you have, so if you have 30 days sick time, you can get a third of that out of the pool.
Right, you have to belong to the pool. If you
Right,
don't
yeah,
donate,
you don't
if you
belong
don't
to the pool,
donate,
right.
you can have a choice. If you don't want to donate to it, you don't
Right.
have to.
But you
And
don't
if-
receive.
But you don't receive either.
Right.
And so if you belong into the pool, then you can receive.
Yeah, I'd be more interested in something like that maybe
Right.
than to have people donate to you because you're sick. I don't want people to feel obligated.
I know, I agree
They have to-
100%.
They have to give to you. Yes, sir.
Can I just say, I rolled this exact program out at Sephora. We went from a policy that didn't allow sharing to a policy that did, and this isn't the time or place, but if you would like some insight on how that went for me, I would be happy to chat with you about it.
Would you stop after and give me your name and phone number, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So we will continue to research this. So does the school district have a policy then?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
And everybody who is hired they get that question of donating one of their sick days, the first year. And then
Okay.
they ask, when the pool has been depleted, they ask everybody to donate another day, when it's down to nothing, or almost nothing.
Okay.
And there's a committee of people who decide that, the superintendent, and I believe, probably the association president, and then probably one other person.
Sorry.
Yes,
no,
sir.
no. I think that's adding a lot of layers of complications that don't need to be
Could
there.
be.
It's, like I said, with my experience, because we piloted a few different programs, but the one that worked best is the one that allowed employees to donate vacation time to a particular person. That was the one that was most successful. Like, at one point, we had, at that Las Vegas shooting, we had 2 employees that were there and one of them died. So there was a lot of money donated to that store because they all needed time off to deal with that. So we found that it was much more effective if you were donating to a person or a cause. And it was all anonymous, like you could come and say, I wanna give them 3 days or whatever. So, I found that much more effective, and it was very easy to manage from a payroll perspective.
Give that information to Denise and town manager, and you guys can talk through it. All right, number 5, National Weather Service, River Flood Forecasting Service.
So I had a conversation with Sarah Jameson, and they have, Eagle Creek has equipment in the Kennebec River in our area that works with GIS or I didn't get the initials. Anyway, where they can monitor and provide the river flood forecasting information to the local towns so that we can get a heads up like a day or 2 before any anticipated flood event. So the December 23 storm that flooded the Kennebec and really wiped out a lot of people in Anson, in particular North Anson, there could have been more notice available to them if Anson and Madison participated in this program. So what they need from us is a letter to formally request that they give us this information and work with us. It's a pretty easy ask, and I think we should do it.
So looking for a motion to have Denise send a letter, have the town manager send a letter to National Weather Service requesting more information on river flooding.
I'll make that a motion. I'll second that.
All right, with a motion and a second to send a letter to the National Weather Service requesting more information when rivers are going to flood. Any questions? Jeff, you fooled me right there. I saw the white paper go
halfway. It's a blue card, Al.
I saw the white paper go. All right, all.
Didn't realize it was white.
All those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. Any citizens' concerns? Seeing none, any select board concerns, Mrs. Dwyer? Mr. Moody? I'm all set, looking for motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, we have a second, and all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries, we adjourn at 7:20.
The next meeting is gonna be the town meeting.
Yeah, just remember the next select board meeting is Monday, June 24th.